Okay, I think we should. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. If you're expecting peace and quiet, you came on the wrong day. All I'm thinking about is my rabbis from the yeshiva from many years ago. First of all, being so angry that I became a Reform rabbi. And then they said, you are leading a service where people bring what? To the synagogue on Shabbos? But many people love their pets, and many people want the pets to be blessed. And one day a year, they want to celebrate Shabbat with their favorite animals, and that's what we do. So it's not going to be quiet. Don't expect any decorum, but it's still Shabbat, and we're going to welcome it appropriately. Hine matovu manaim, how wonderful it is for all of us, friends, family, and pets, to be together to celebrate Shabbat together.
Hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is,
How good,
how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad.
Jordan, Jacob, would you come here with your family to lead us in Shabbat candles?
We should light the candles first. You want to light the candles? You can each do one? Yes. Pick up this thing. Yeah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you.
Thank you.
L'choneranena la'Adonai, Nariya letzor yishenu. L'choneranena la'Adonai, Nariya letzor yishenu. Nekadma fana betoda, bizmirot nariya lo. Nekadma fana betoda, bizmirot nariya lo. L'choneranena la'Adonai, Nariya letzor yishenu. L'choneranena la'Adonai, Nariya letzor yishenu. Nekadma fana betoda, bizmirot nariya lo. Nekadma fana betoda, bizmirot nariya lo. Ki el gadol Adonai, umelech gadol al kol Elohim. Ki el gadol Adonai, umelech gadol al kol Elohim. Ki el gadol Adonai, umelech gadol al kol Elohim. Ki el gadol Adonai, umelech gadol al kol Elohim. L'choneranena la'Adonai, Nariya letzor yishenu. L'choneranena la'Adonai, Nariya letzor yishenu. Nekadma fana betoda, bizmirot nariya lo. They're just greeting each other for Shabbat, right? Nekadma fana betoda, bizmirot nariya lo. You didn't even have to prompt them. They just wish each other a Shabbat Shalom. It's amazing. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha
Lecha
dodi,
dodi,
lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, ishmi'anu el ha'echad. Adonai echad, Shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'nitila. Lecha
Lecha
dodi,
dodi,
lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. If you're able, we rise. We're going to face the doors to the back of our sanctuary for tonight as we welcome in Shabbat. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה.
So the first service we had before was a Kid Shabbat. I invited all the kids to go to their parents, and the parents placed their hands on their children's heads for Shabbat blessing. We're going to do something similar. Those of you who brought your pets today, we're going to have a special prayer. Oh, I'm holding the wrong prayer.
I'll just hold them here.
It goes like that. Baruch atah Adonai, blessed are you, holy source, maker of all living creatures. On the 5th and 6th days of creation, you called forth fish in the sea, birds in the air, and animals on the land. You inspired us to call all animals brothers and sisters. We ask you to bless these animals, and I would like you to just mention the name of your animal as we continue with the blessing. Shana Tova? Is she Jewish?
Zoe. Bruno.
Ruben Shlomo. Oh, thank you for sharing. May I touch it? It's my first time. Thank you. Lunatic. Definitely Jewish.
Lulu. Billy.
That's Laser Wolf.
Laser Wolf. So we ask you, God, to bless these animals by the power of your love. Enable them to live fully in praise to your name. May we always praise you for all your beauty in creation. Blessed are you, Adonai our God. You are in all your creatures. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל ברא לכבודו. Praise are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe. For all creation proclaims your glory. May you and your pets bring love and joy to each other. As we all say, Amen.
טוב להודות אדוני, טוב להודות אדוני, ולזמר לשמך היום. טוב להודות אדוני, טוב להודות אדוני, ולזמר לשמך היום. להגיד בבוקר, בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות. להגיד בבוקר, בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות. טוב להודות אדוני, טוב להודות אדוני, ולזמר לשמך היום. טוב להודות אדוני, טוב להודות אדוני, ולזמר לשמך היום. הגיד בבוקר, בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות. הגיד בבוקר, בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות. טוב להודות אדוני, טוב להודות אדוני, ולזמר לשמך היום. טוב להודות אדוני, טוב להודות אדוני, ולזמר לשמך היום.
As you know, last month another Jew won the Nobel Prize from the University of Washington, David Baker, for discovery of folding of proteins, which was an amazing work for three decades. And I want to give thanks to God that I had the chance to work next door to him for 2 years in Seattle at the University of Washington.
Thank you. Very inspiring.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch ni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash Shemei Rabbav.
Amen.
May Yamad Yivrach Yirtei Ve'amlich Malchutei B'chayechon u'vyomechon Ufchayei Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala Ba'agala Uvizman Kariv Veimeru Amen Yehi Shvei Rabba Mevorach Le'alam Ulol Me'amaya Yitbarach Ve'yishtabach Ve'yitfa'ar V'yitromam Ve'yinaseh Ve'yithadar Ve'yit'ale Ve'yithalal Shemei Dekudshav Brichu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata Ve'shirata Tushvechata V'nechemata Tamiran Be'ama Veimeru Amen.
Let's rise for Barchum. And before we sing the prayer, why don't you wish Shabbat Shalom to the people next to you, behind you, in front of you. And before we continue with prayer, the prayer of Shema Israel, I invite you to close your eyes for a moment and take a deep, slow breath in and breathe out. Breathe in again and breathe out. Breathe in the blessings of Shabbat, of the people in your life, of your beloved pets, of God's blessings. And breathe out your stress and anxiety of the past week, of next week. And let go of everything you need to let go of. And take a moment to talk to God. You can thank God, you can complain, you can ask tough questions, doesn't matter what. Just try to hear what God has to say to you. And together.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod ובכל מאודיך. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Keep to heart these instructions which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember and do all of my commandments and be holy for your God. I am Adonai your God, who led you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Et Adonai Elohecha בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נאדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, חוקי הים לפני משה ומירים. זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יא אלי
So there is a debate in the Talmud. One rabbi said that man was created last, right, on the sixth day, because human beings are the most important ones. So like in a wedding, the most important person in a wedding is the bride, and she is the last to arrive. However, others said that man was created last because human beings have the responsibility to take care of the animals who were created just before them. The Torah has, believe it or not, many laws that make the point that we have to treat our animals with dignity, respect, and compassion. Even in the Ten Commandments, one of the commandments is about the observance of Shabbat. You shall not do any work on Shabbat. And the verse continues. This is applied to you, to your children, to your family, and to your animals. The whole concept of a day of rest was revolutionary at that time, let alone extending it to animals. Because people used to look at their animals just like probably we look at our cars. We don't think, oh, this car drove so much last week, I should give it a day off. But the Torah says, no, animals are not cars. And as you need some rest, physical and mental rest, your animals need to rest as well. And there are some other laws, and one of the main values, we like to talk about Jewish values, but one of the categories is called Tza'ar Ba'alei Chaim, and this is the obligation to treat animals with respect, with compassion. You know, for example, you're not supposed to milk cows on Shabbat because this is work. But the rabbis realized that if you don't milk the cow is in pain. So working on Shabbat versus relieving the cow from its pain, of course you milk the cow on Shabbat. You don't milk it entirely, but enough for it not to feel discomfort. This is quite interesting. Now, I want to tell you a little story from the book of Samuel that sheds light about some domestic animals. I don't believe that anyone in ancient Israel owned a dog or a cat. But here is the story. You may have heard about part of it. One day, King David went up to the roof of his palace and saw a beautiful woman bathing on the roof of the other house. Her name was Bathsheba, and he wanted her. And when a king wants someone or something, the king gets it. So he sent his people, they brought Bathsheba to him, they spent the night together, and Bathsheba got pregnant. Now, Bathsheba's husband was one of King David's military officers. His name was Uriah. What to do? So David, now at that time Uriah was at war. So David summoned him back and told him, take some time off, go and spend the night with your wife. Because David wanted everyone to think, Uriah himself too, that the child was Uriah's. But Uriah was extremely loyal to his soldiers and to King David and said, I cannot sleep on a nice mattress spending the night with my wife, and all my soldiers are at the front fighting. He insisted to sleep on the floor outside of his house. So that didn't work out well for David, and here he took it further. He sent Uriah back to the war, but instructed the other commanders there to make sure that Uriah will get killed. And that's exactly what happened. Uriah got killed, and several months later, there was a baby of King David and Bathsheba. That's the story, that's the background. Now, you can imagine that God was not happy with King David. He just violated anything you want, right? From adultery to murder, anything you want. There are just many commandments. So God sent to him Nathan the prophet. Nathan decided to be a little bit careful. And I'm going to read to you a few verses of the story that Nathan the prophet tells King David. And the Lord sent Nathan to David. He came to him and said, there were two men in the same city, one rich and one poor. The rich man had very large flocks and herds, but the poor man had only one little ewe lamb. Now listen carefully. One little ewe lamb that he had bought. He tended to it, and it grew up together with him and his children. It used to share his morsel of bread, drink from his cup, and nestle in his bosom. It was like a daughter to him. Sounds familiar for those of you who have a pet whom you love so much? You don't expect to see such a description in the Bible, right? But apparently, some people had their ewe lamb in this case, or some other domestic animal, that they treated like a family member in a very intimate way. You want to hear the rest of the story? So the rich man had a guest. He went to look at his animals and he said, "Why should I kill one of my animals to feed my guest?" So he went to the poor man's house, took his ewe lamb, slaughtered it, and fed his guest. That was the story that Nathan, the prophet, told David. What do you think was David's reaction? This man should be dead. And Nathan said, actually, it's not a real story, it's a parable, and you are the rich man. Uriah was a loyal, good person. He had one wife. You have a whole harem of wives, and you just took the wife that he had and killed him instead. And then the story continues. One of the reasons that King David was not the one to build the temple. So I told you this story not just to depress you, but really because I couldn't think of any other biblical source that demonstrates that fact that some people really raised animals the way we do. Make them part of their household, treat them like family members, and if, God forbid, something happens to them, they grieve just like we grieve any other family member and a close friend.
As we celebrate Parsha Noah, and all of our pets tonight, I want to share with you the absolute best song that was ever written about Noah's Ark. It's called the Unicorn Song. And once you catch on to the chorus, I invite you to join in. A long time ago when the earth was green, there were more kinds of animals that you've ever seen. They'd run around free while the earth was being born. The loveliest of all was the unicorn. There was green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, and sure as you're born, the loveliest of all was the unicorn. Now God seen some sinning and it gave him pain, and he said, "Stand back, I'm gonna make it rain." He says, "Hey brother Noah, I'll tell you what to do. You'll build me a floating zoo and take some of the green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, don't you forget my unicorn." Well, old Noah was there to answer the call. He finished up making the ark just as the rain started falling. He marched in the animals and called out as they went through, "Hey Lord, I got your green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but Lord, I'm so forlorn, I just can't see no unicorn." Then Noah looked out through the driving rain. Them unicorns were hiding, playing silly games, kicking and splashing while the rain was pouring. Oh, them silly unicorns. There were green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees. Noah cried, "Close the doors, 'cause the rain is pouring, and we just can't wait for no unicorns." Now the ark started moving and it drifted with the tide, and the unicorns looked up from the rocks and they cried. The waters came down and sort of floated them away. And that's why you'll never see a unicorn to this very day. But you'll see green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-backed camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, you're never gonna see no unicorn. I need the words for this part. Now you might think that this is the ending to the song, but in fact I'll tell you, friends, you're wrong. You see, unicorns are magical, so when the rain started pouring, they grew themselves some wings, and they took to soaring. And there was green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-backed camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, you're never the loveliest of all was the unicorn.
You're right, the
Classic
best
story.
song.
Classic.
We continue now with the healing prayer. If anyone would like to mention the name of a loved one who is ill and in need of healing, you may mention her or his name. If you're able, please rise for the closing prayers.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה
If you're observing a Yortzeit today or you're doing the month of mourning, please remain standing. Anyone else, please be seated as we remember today. Seymour Ackerman, father of Ed. Marvin Sicker, father of Liz. Sam Feldman, father of Joan. Marsha Blavet, mother of Jay. Sandy Bugatin, mother of Patsy. Noel Boylan, son of Steffi and Ron, and brother of Andy. Louis Cohen, grandfather of Bruce. Stephen Weinstein, friend of Maureen and Bruce. Shannon Hickey, friend of Mike and Josh. Flora Diaz, mother of Susan. Annette Friedland, sister of Dan and aunt of Howard. Paul Weissman, brother-in-law of David. Virginia Kaplan, grandmother of Jen. Kenneth Kleinman, father of Jen. Maggie Mograby, sister of Leona. Susan Litvak, mother of Robin. Frances Jamel, mother-in-law of Gail and grandmother of Valerie. Ann Ziffer, mother of Ellen. Jack Kean, father-in-law of Kay. Stanley Cradman, father of Jason. Louis Lebovic, father of Nate and grandfather of Brian. Mary Langer, mother of Carol. Nathan Myerson, father of Dan. Manny Myerson, brother of Dan. Michael Fortunato, father of Aline and grandfather of Lisa. Grace Ann Reitman, mother of Harris. David Rosenberg, son of Ruth and Matty. Elizabeth Ruth Mel, mother of Ken. Mark Barbakoff, father of Hillary. Morris Sussman, father-in-law of Diane. Zelma Rivin, mother of Anne. Doris Snyder, grandmother of Cheryl and Craig. Jerry Hartman, father of Eileen, Herbert, and Deborah. Sam Cooper, uncle of Eileen, Herbert, and Deborah. Anne Patricia Veneer, mother of Bob and grandmother of Jeremy. Jack Sheckman, father of Lynn and grandfather of Amy. Robert Daniel Wise, son of Lois and Barry and brother of Janet. And taken from her family in the past month, remember Marcy Elman, mother of Jeff.
Jack Holzberg.
If your custom is to rise for the Kaddish, please do so. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל בחטא ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
עושה שלום במרומיו,
הוא יעשה שלום עלינו
ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techilah, למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן.
L'chaim. You may be seated. Do we have some nice children who want to help us with the challah? Nice children, mediocre children. I mean, anyone?
Come on. Come on.
You can bring
You can
your
bring your
pets with
pet.
you.
Although
Because
Nibbles,
this challah is so
Nibbles
heavy, I
might eat
cannot.
the challah.
Oh.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min
You go from this side
haaretz.
and you go from that side. And share.
Amen. No challah for you. Adon olam,
Adon olam,
asher malach,
asher malach,
b'terem kol,
b'terem kol,
yetzir nivra, le'nasa,
let nasa
b'chefto
b'chefto
kol,
kol.
azay melech shemo nikra Adon olam, ve'acharei kichot hakol, levado yimloch nora Adon olam, ve'hu haya, ve'hu hoveh, ve'hu yeh betifara Adon olam, Adon olam,
Adon olam,
asher malach,
asher malach,
b'terem kol,
b'terem kol,
yetzir nivra, le'nasa,
let nasa
לחפצו
b'chefto
כל,
kol.
אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם, והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשילו להכבירה אדון עולם, בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, ולא עוז והמשרה אדון עולם, אדון עולם,
Adon olam,
אשר מלך
asher malach,
בטרם כל,
b'terem kol,
יציר נברא להינשא.
let nasa
בחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם, בידו הפקיד רוחי, והתישה והעירה אדון עולם, ואם רוחי גביעתי, אדוני לי ולא ירא אדון עולם.
dinner and rock Shabbat.
In 2 weeks, we'll be having Shabbat dinner, a congregational Shabbat dinner. We hope, and welcoming all of our new members. So we hope that everyone will be here if you're a new member, or if you can be here to help us welcome our new members. And then right after that dinner, an hour later, we kick off our season of musical Shabbat with rock and roll Shabbat.
Yay.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Thank you.
shalom.
One more.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. You don't have to travel far for the oneg. Please stay and join us.